Hi. So, today, I don't know, I wanted to talk about being alone. And I don't know, just what it's like to be alone and how it feels to be alone. I have been alone for a majority of my life, most of my life. Even when people would be like, no, you weren't alone then. You had your family, you had these friends. I was still alone. I was still in my bed watching YouTube, sitting down doing nothing, alone. I was alone. I was always alone. I mean, now I'm not alone. Now I don't think I'm alone. I have friends to turn to and talk to when I need to, and I have a boyfriend to turn to and talk to when I need to. But it's recent. It's recent that I'm not alone. Like last summer, I was alone. I had no one to hang out with. I think I only hung out with one person last summer, which is kind of sad. We did one thing, and then that was that. I hung out with nobody else. I just sat in my room, did nothing. Maybe watched some movies, maybe drew, maybe did all this stuff that I do alone. My life is just me being alone. It's a collection of my loneliness. All of this artwork, all these collections I have, maybe not my Polaroids, but all this stuff is when I was alone. Alone. My Spider-Man I've always been alone. And I know people would always be like, you're not alone, I'm here with you, you're not alone, you can always talk to me when you need to. But then they talk bad about me behind my back, and I'm like, are you really here for me? Or they have other people to talk to, or they talk to other people, and I'm like, are you there for me? I don't know. I don't understand. And I've been in relationships where I've been alone, where it's felt like I didn't have anybody. Even in a relationship, I felt so alone, and that's one of my breaking points in the relationships. I would be like, I feel more alone than I did before. I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to go through this. And being a child, I grew up alone. I grew up having my drawings, YouTube, and nothing. And I wouldn't realize that I'm alone. I wouldn't realize that I had no friends, that everyone I knew would bully me, that my family would make fun of me in my face and behind my back, which, I mean, my family loves me, yeah, but do they? Did they? Like, it never seemed like they did. And the fact that I was 7 years old, overthinking and being like, does my family even love me? Does anybody love me? I've always been depressed. And I've always kind of just like been like, everyone's depressed. This isn't depression. This is just me being annoying. This is just me being dramatic. Which is dumb. Like, I know I'm saying it's dumb, but back then I didn't think it was dumb. I thought it was like the only thing I had, the only place I had. And I would talk to random people online. I would talk to strangers online. I met a lot of close friends online. And I would be like, wow, how have I not found friends? By being on Earth, by being in my city, how have I not had any friends? Now I have a bunch of friends that I love and adore, but how is it possible that I had nobody? Nobody to talk to when I felt like I need someone to talk to. Nobody to talk to when I was going through something. Nobody knows what I really think. Nobody has ever known what I really thought, because I know that. And I never want to tell anybody, because I don't want people to be like, oh, this girl is talking. And I don't want them to be how I used to be, and me just talking to them, and they're like, I don't know what to do with this information. Like, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Being alone, you don't really you just wish. You wish and you wish and you wish. Like, I wish I had friends right now. I wish I had someone to talk to. I wish my dad was still nice to me. I wish all these things, but it's just wishful thinking. It's just like, what if I was more talkative? What if I was more this? What if I was more that? What if I stood up for my bullies? What if I stopped trying? What if I stopped trying to be loved so much? Because if I stopped trying to be loved, maybe people would be like, you know what? This girl seems like she needs a little bit of love. She's not happy. It doesn't look like she's happy. It looks like she's alone. I would always try to cover my loneliness. I would always, if someone were to ask me to hang out, I would be like, oh yeah, my mom said no. Ooh, she said no. When I'd even ask her. And I mean, she probably wouldn't have let me go on anyways. She's always been like that. She's been strict. And I would just be like, yeah, whatever she wants, whatever anyone else wants, because I don't want to lose people. I don't want to go back into that loneliness that I endured for so long. I don't want to lose anybody, even if we don't talk at all, even if we only have photos with each other, or we only knew each other through school. I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose anybody, because if I lose somebody, then what if they were filling a missing part of me and I just don't know what to do now? I feel like my entire body is just parts of people that if they were just go away, my whole body will malfunction and my brain will shut off. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this topic. I don't know. I'm not good at talking about how alone I am. But I would write about being alone a lot. Like, I have my journal. And I would just talk about being so alone and how I don't want love, but I do want love. But if I had love, then I would probably hate it and feel alone. Like, there's so much writing where I'm just like, I love people, I hate people, I miss people, I just want to be with people. Like, I would just have times where I was like, I don't want to be alone, I want to be in a relationship, but then I'm like, no, I don't. And I was like, I've had so many moments where I felt like I like someone, but they crush my spirit. They take too long to text, or they're so secretive about their feelings. I've had glitter in my eyes and butterflies in my stomach, but they fly away eventually. Why should I be thinking that? And I said, I wish I was super gullible. Sometimes I wish I could be one of those girls who dates a new guy every month. A girl that doesn't care about words. She doesn't care about what a guy says or posts or does or anything. She just cares to be in a relationship with a guy she finds cute. Maybe I'm acting lonely, but geez, why am I the worst girl ever? And it's like I couldn't fathom that people actually would like me and people would actually like perceive me. I've never felt like I've been perceived. And seeing photos of myself, like if someone were to snap me and I'm in the photo, I would save it because I want to look back on the photo and be like, wow, I'm actually that person. That's what I look like when I'm doing that. That's what I look like when I'm doing this. That's what I look like when I'm talking to my friend and laughing with my friend. And I think for me being alone for so long, it's caused me to be more of an overthinker. I know I'm such an overthinker, but I feel like me being alone for that long made it so now I overthink every little thing. I overthink, maybe I laughed too hard and they were like, ew, that's gross. Maybe I talk too much. Maybe I do this too much. Maybe I text people to hang out too much. Maybe I comment on people's posts too much, even though they don't comment on mine. Why should I care? Like, why can't I just live my life? Why am I not allowing myself to be a happy person, to be a person that is fine? I'm fine, but sometimes I just create problems for myself. Like, if my boyfriend's asleep, or my best friend's asleep, or they're away somewhere, I would just be like, wow, I feel so alone right now because they're gone. Wow, I'm so alone right now. Wow, I'm so alone right now. But I can text them. I could text them and be like, hey, what's up? What are you doing? And they will probably respond and be like, hey, what's up? How are you? I'm doing this. I miss you. I just never believed that people could actually miss me and miss the person that I am, because I feel like I'm such a horrible person. I've always felt like I'm such a horrible person because it seemed like nobody would ever want to be my friend. Nobody was ever my friend. So I just felt like, ooh, my personality is because of this. The way I act is because I never had any friends. But, I mean, there could have been a million possibilities on why they weren't friends with me or why they would bully me. Maybe they were jealous of me. Maybe they just wanted to be my friend, but they didn't know how to say that they wanted to be my friend, so they would attack me. So they would punch me and hit me and do all this. I don't know. And I even felt alone with my family, like with my mom. My mom, she tries so hard, and I know she loves me and cares about me, and I love and care about her, but so many times as a kid, I felt so alone with her. Like, I felt like I couldn't tell her anything because she would just be like, oh, well, you know how people are. Oh, well, don't let people get to you. Don't let this happen to you. But how can I control my feelings like that? How can I control myself when I'm at the brink of breaking? When I might be already broken? I remember one time I was in elementary school. I was in elementary school, and we were playing this game, but I felt really sick, so I didn't really want to play it. And at the end of it, we were all getting a drink from the water fountain, and this tiny little small girl, is talking bad about me. And I can hear her whispering in people's ears and looking at me and laughing and talking about me. I could faintly hear her talking about me and saying I'm faking it and I'm just doing that to just do that to just get attention. And I cried. And I told my teacher, and she got punished for it. And then I told my mom. I told her that I cried and I was sad, and she was like, don't let people do that to you. Don't let people make you cry. Don't let people get to you. And I was like, oh my God, why am I so dumb? Why did I let that happen to me? Why did I tell my teacher that? I should have just let it be. Why did I confront her? Why did I do this? Now I feel bad for her because she got in trouble for something that she shouldn't have gotten in trouble for, because I was just overreacting. No, I wasn't. She was talking bad about me in front of my face. What more to do than cry? As a young child, what more could you do? Unless you want to attack her, but I was never like that. I've never been like that. I've never been the type to hit someone back, even if they hit me. Like in high school, there was this one girl that was told that I was talking bad about her, and she confronted me, and I was like, I wasn't talking bad about you. I wasn't talking bad about you. And then I walked away, and she chased me, and she tried to fight me, and I ran all the way up the stairs, and she ran after me and pushed me into the locker, and then she got more in trouble. And sometimes I look back and I'm like, was I talking bad about her? Like, it just makes me overthink. And I overthink, like, maybe my friends don't actually like me because I'm doing too much. Maybe they just pretend to be my friend because they can see how alone I am. That's dumb. That's really dumb. And I can see how sometimes I'm the one who's making myself alone. I'm not purposely doing it, but I'm unconsciously making myself more alone. I would push people away. And I think I would push people away because I was scared that they were going to judge me. That they were going to be like, ew, why are you feeling this? Why are you so clingy? And I would just push people away, not answer them, never text them back. And then eventually they would be like, hey, what's wrong? Like, why aren't you texting me? And I would be like, oh my God, you don't want to be friends with me. Okay, bye. So I was just digging myself into a deeper hole. I was creating this giant manhole that is 10 feet deep. I was ripping off all my skin and jumping into a batch of hand sanitizer, of alcohol, and I was letting myself burn. And I was going, why am I burning right now? Why does it hurt? Like, I can't blame it on anyone else but me, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying that to, like, people please, or I don't know. I feel like it's all my fault that I'm alone. And now I feel like I've grown into a person who really doesn't want to be alone, so they just put themselves so out there. I don't have social anxiety. I love being loud and making people laugh and making people be like, "Ooh, what's that girl doing? She's kind of funny." Or, "What's that girl doing? That's interesting." And I loved, like, people seeing me and knowing me. And I've always wanted to be popular. I wanted to be one of those popular girls that everyone knew and everyone would text happy birthday to. But I was never that. I mean, maybe I was popular at some point, but I never felt like it. You know what? It would always surprise me when people would be like, "Yeah, everyone knows you. Everyone knows you." And I'm like, nobody knows me. Only 2 people know me. Nobody knows me. And it's crazy to think that people want to be my friend. People see me online, see me in person, and be like, "Hey, I want to be that girl's friend." And I'm over here like, this person probably doesn't like me. This person probably is like, ew, this person's weird. Like, you can't control what people say or think about you. And I think people say good things about me, people say bad things about me. And I ignore all the good things and just take all the bad things people said to me and put it right on my heart. I tape it on my heart. And it just feeds into my brain, and I'm like, wow, this person is like, and maybe I should stop being loud, maybe I should stop being annoying, maybe I should dial it down and not be so fun and loud, because I don't want people to realize that I'm being weird and annoying and then leave me, and then I'm just sitting with myself at night talking to my phone. It's funny, but it's not. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like I'm not really saying much about being alone, but it's so hard to talk about being alone, and it's so hard to talk about the feeling of being alone. The feeling of being alone is one of the worst feelings you can have. It feels like you're, oh my god, sorry. It feels like you're on a floaty. You're on a floaty in the ocean, and there's no land at all surrounding you, and you're just there, and you have no one to go to, you have no one to talk to besides yourself. You're just floating and floating and floating and floating. Maybe one day you just fall into the ocean, but there could be a day where there's like a plane or a boat that sees you, and they're like, "Oh my god, there's a person there," and then they try to rescue you, but you're like, no, I just got on here, like, it's fine, you don't have to rescue me, like, I want to be here. Or you could be like, "Please help me." I feel like being alone, like being on that floaty, if you see a plane go by, you're not even waving your arms, you're just watching it go by and secretly hoping that they see you, but you don't want to make it a big deal. You don't want to be the person that's flailing their arms around and being like, please help me, somebody help me. Because you're just like, oh, if they just zoom past, you did all that for nothing, and now you're tired. Why'd you do that? You could have just sat there and watched. And if you sit there and watch, then it's like, dang, you could have flailed your arms around and they could have saved you. But what are you gonna do? You can't fly. You don't have there's nothing. There's nothing out here. There's nobody out here. I feel like that's kind of what it's like to be alone. Or like, it feels like when you're in a group of friends and they're all talking and you're trying to and you're like bleeding out and you're like, guys, help me. Guys, my arm is bleeding. Like, I feel really faint. My arm is bleeding. And they're just talking and they're laughing and they're talking to each other and they're not even noticing you. And you're like, guys, oh my god, my arm is bleeding. there's like 3 things you could do. You could really get their attention, really get their attention, like slap them across the face and be like, I'm bleeding, hello. And they could be like, what are you talking about? Or you could let yourself bleed out. And then they'll feel bad when they realize that you bled out and you passed out. Or you could save yourself. Rip your shirt and then tie it really tight. And be like, and then maybe they realize, maybe they heard that rip and they're like, what's going on? And you're like, yeah, I just bled out really bad. I try to tell you, and they could feel bad. But you shouldn't make people feel bad. I mean, especially when they don't know what's happening. I mean, yeah, they weren't listening, but so they were having a fun conversation with their friends. Maybe they've known that. Okay, I think I'm just digging, like, I think I'm just talking about so many hypothetical situations and like what it feels like, because I can't really like show you what it feels like. I don't know. I've always felt alone. I've always been alone. Now I'm not alone, obviously. I have so many people to turn to and look at and be like, wow, that's my friend. I know them. I love them. I don't know, like, I mean, I guess everything roots from something. And I would always be like, being alone is just me. It's just because of me. But it's actually because of my past. Like, I was alone as a child. I was neglected as a child. I was bullied and I couldn't speak up. When I was bullied, I would be like, guys, stop, please stop. And they would just laugh in my face. I hate that. I hate knowing that people are alone, and I hate not knowing what to do. Like, I find out someone's feels really alone, and they feel really depressed, and they want to do things, and I really want to help them, but I'm also like, I'm trying to look back on how I helped myself and how I got myself out of that giant manhole, and I don't know how I did that. I don't know how I did that. I don't remember. I like can't tell how I did that. Maybe the hand sanitizer let me float up and up and up and I just crawl my way out. Or maybe I was passed out and someone, like a claw machine, and I just didn't realize. I don't think I ever really realized that I'm not alone anymore. And that I shouldn't think that I'm alone, because I'm not. I have people I can go to and talk to, and I'm happy I have that. I'm happy I have resources. I'm happy I have a therapist. I'm happy I have a mom. I'm happy I have a best friend, a boyfriend, and all these people. But it's also like the fear of everything. I'm so scared. I'm scared of being alone again. I don't know what I would do. Like, I don't know what I would do with being alone. Maybe I would just do what I usually did. Maybe I'll turn to everything that I turn to. Okay, I don't know. I think that's all. Sorry? I don't know. Bye.